I'm Mike Doubles.
This is Brayden Fasnacht. We're going to be talking about the recap video. Alright, welcome everybody to our first ever recap video here on Phoenix Entertainment of the Schuylkill County Hockey Association. I'm here with the Commander-in-Chief, Mike Doubles. We're going to talk a little bit about the B Division, A Division, what we saw, recapping every single eventful night here on a Monday or Wednesday here. So Mike always had the best look on the floor reffing. Obviously, he didn't have skates on this year. So one thing that was probably a good question for you that I was thinking about on the way here is, like, how did that significantly change for you here as, like, making calls and getting around and obviously getting a couple sticks taken to the head a little bit and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So
Being on sneakers is definitely different than being on skates. With the skates, obviously, you're able to keep up with the play a lot better. Moving from goal line to center line with having the second referee helped. Definitely different. I felt it was probably a little bit of a hindrance because some of these guys are really fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of these guys, I could leave the red line heading down this way and they would score, and I'm sitting there going, who just scored?
yeah,
You know, that's how fast the play would happen. So it was definitely a benefit having a second referee out here. But I'm hoping to get back to skating. It's not going to be anytime soon. I did skate the one night before the games, so I have to slowly work that up.
Yeah.
The doctor has cleared me now to start skating, so I'm going to work my way back into it and see what happens. I have decided that for the summer season, I am not refereeing. I'm going to focus more on getting strength in my knee, so that way eventually I can get back to playing and hopefully refereeing at some point.
all right, yeah, and just like you said, the summer season's coming right up a week from now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But just to recap, we're going to start with the B Division, of course. What caught your eye the most out of the B Division? What surprised you the most, or did not expect coming into this season?
Going by seasons past, I did not expect Irons Up to win a game at all. And they pulled 2 games out, and they were back-to-back games, and they were against good teams.
Yeah.
Against Rock Bottom and against Phantom Heat. Both teams who have very veteran players, very skilled players, and either they had an off night or Irons Up was just on their game that night, and that was a big surprise for the B Division, seeing Irons Up win their first 2 games of the season. Sad to say that they're not going to be coming back. You know, a lot of the players left have gone to other teams. So I think had they stayed another season or 2 and picked up minor people, they could have made a run for it at some point.
Absolutely. Just to go off that with those 2 wins of Irons Up, favorite moment of all time coming in here, Dave Boofy gets his first goal ever recorded, and then a penalty right away. That might have been the best moment I've ever had working here, doing the play-by-play announcing. That was definitely a moment for sure.
Yeah.
One other thing that a lot of people didn't realize is Team Carlos' average age, 17 years old.
Yes.
And they make it to the finals, come up short. They lose games 2 and 3 to Legion of Doom, which great talented team. Any surprises in that though, like the championship series? Obviously, it's nobody wants to lose a championship game, so it's going to be a chippy. It's going to be playing fast. But any other surprises?
No, I actually thought from the beginning of the season, looking at the rosters, not knowing like some of the teams, like Legion of Doom they kind of had players that left Irons Up, so you don't know what to expect with Irons Up because you knew what their past was with those players going in, and they picked up JJ Gone, which was a huge asset for them.
Oh yeah.
I honestly thought Team Carlos was the core team that could win the whole championship, and to see Legion of Doom go undefeated, up until they played Team Carlos, I think the second time.
Yep.
Then they lost that first game. You knew those 2 teams were going to meet in the championship. And Team Carlos winning the first game was a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
And then they lost both games, 2 and 3 at the same score, 9-5. I think they just got, they probably got tired.
Oh, yeah.
They got out-hustled and outworked in that second and third game. And that happens.
Oh yeah, it's part of the game. It's obviously everybody knows from experience. I don't, of course, but I got to tell you, it's fun watching those B divisions teams play. It's super fun, because a lot of them, they're like, well, we could play in the A division, and I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of teams have proved that this season for sure, in my personal opinion. But we'll switch over to the A division, talk a little about that. A lot has happened in that A division. Lone Rangers go undefeated and win the whole thing. There's great competition as well in that. Lumberjacks, they made it to the final as well. A lot of people thought that was going to be the team to beat. And then, they came up short a little bit, but they were super fun to watch as well. But any other surprises or outskirts that you saw in the A division as well?
I think the A division kind of went the way everybody thought it was going to go.
Yes, correct.
I think everybody knew once the Lone Rangers were coming back, they were going to go undefeated.
Yep.
And Quack Attack, shout out to Quack Attack, who went 33 games undefeated until the first game of the season against Lone Rangers. 3 championships back to back, so they really were the team to beat.
Yep.
And then Lone Rangers are now the team to beat. And you see teams now, we'll get to the summer season, but now teams are like, okay, what do we need to do to beat the Lone Rangers? Because Robbie Schaefer and Mitch Bensinger, they don't even talk.
No.
Like, that whole team's been playing together for so long.
That's right. Exactly.
They just know where everybody's at.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of just makes you wonder, like, how do they do this? How do you know the guys behind you when you've already, started skating up, or, the positioning without even talking to each other is just unreal.
Yeah, it's that was one thing that was definitely surreal about them, is they don't communicate, and I think I've seen Robbie Schaefer communicate more when somebody was like beating up on him by the goalie. I'm gonna be honest with you, and that was pretty crazy to see. Like, they just don't communicate, and I've never seen anything like that. And I've never played hockey on skates. If I did that, I'd tear an MCL again. But it's so awesome to watch those guys play, and even in those late ages, like they're still moving pretty good. Yeah. So that's one thing that was definitely cool to see as well.
Yeah, and I think Lumberjacks are up there with them. Lumberjacks is a great team, great group of guys. I think they are short maybe one offensive player, and that will give them the hump to get over. Tailgaters, obviously a great team, a lot of veteran guys on Tailgaters. They're right there with the Lumberjacks. When they played, that night, either team could have won. It was a really good game.
Oh, yeah.
And then, who else do we have in there? 6-1 Vape. Actually, I was surprised they only won one game all season.
Yeah.
That was I was expecting a real close division on the A division, like teams would, with the exception of Lone Rangers and maybe Lumberjacks. I mean, the Lumberjacks' only losses were to Lone Rangers.
That's right.
So everybody else was kind of, battling for position for, 3 through 6.
3 through 6.
So, or 3 through 5.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. But, I mean, it was a good season. It was a good division.
Absolutely.
And I think both divisions played very well. Obviously, being a ref, we miss calls. We make judgment calls. We're in the wrong angle of some things, so we get beaten up over things that we miss or can't see, or from our bird's eye view, we see it one way, and some other people see it a different way. But we do our best. But I think, as the season goes on, the new players get used to how we make calls, and then in the championship, things got a little chippy in the playoffs and the championship, but that's playoff hockey.
Exactly.
You call the major things, and if it's kind of close, you just kind of let it go. If it's not interrupting the play, you just let it go. So right. I think both teams that played in the championship, all 4 teams that played in the championship, played very well. I think Lumberjacks had a tough task against them with the Lone Rangers. And as far as the Team Cardos and Legia Jim, you could have flipped a coin.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Either team could have won that easily.
That's probably the best way to say it. But it was definitely a fun season. I definitely enjoyed coming in here every night, just getting ready to announce, bring the energy up. I know, like we always would play that. We put the normal original national anthem up on Spotify for every game. And I was telling Mike, I was like, dude, it's championship night. We're playing the Chris Stapleton from the Super Bowl. It's like, there's nothing like it. And then I forgot that, we could get some copyright here on Fornix Entertainment. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Out of all the people I should have told, I didn't tell the main person. So, but it was such a fun season. I can't wait for the next one. So before we talk into next season, anything we should bring up about this past season before we?
No, I think it was a great season. We have some teams not coming back for the summer season, so they're taking a summer off. But yeah, I think this past spring season was an awesome season, and I look forward to see what the summer season has to bring.
All right, yeah. Well, with that, we're gonna take a quick little break. We're gonna do a separate video about the upcoming season that's coming up. We're super excited for that.
Yep.
So we'll be back in a little bit, and we'll talk about what's coming up in the near future for the summer season.